Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Vulcan Report. This end of day report is for trading on Wednesday, January the 11th, 2017. Sorry, I'm excuse me, a bit congested. Do apologize for that. Hoping to kick this thing, get over it. A lot of things been happening. If you have not already done so, head on over to Rogue Money. Check out my interview with Vince, the Guerrilla Economist. Excuse me. You should see that. It's on his channel. I also put it under my 2017 interviews on my channel as well. Also, you'll find my latest interview with the X22 Spotlight Report with Dave. So head on over to the X22 Report. You'll see that interview. Also, you'll find that under my playlist of 2017 interviews as well. So, without further ado, let's get into it. I warned you all for years since I've been on YouTube that crude oil futures, crude oil complex, everything about crude oil is the most gangster market on the planet. The floor brokers and traders are some real thugs. All right? I'm talking like punch you in your face type people. You think I'm playing. I'm not being funny when I say that. All right? I'm still waiting on fills in their options pit. I'm not kidding. Me and a handful of my colleagues, when we were brokers, we're still waiting on fills. And you know what they told us? They told us if we don't like it, we can come see them. I'm straight up. That's how they said it on the phone. You don't like it? Come see us. All right? They don't care. They're gangsters. According to the latest edition of Stocks and Commodities magazine, too, I think crude oil now is either the third or fourth most liquid futures contract in the world. The emini S&P 500 is number one now. It used to be the euro dollar futures pit was the biggest, the baddest, and most liquid, but now it's the emini S&P and bonds. So the S&P bonds and crude oil are the biggest, baddest, most liquid futures markets on the planet. With that being said, billions of dollars are in those markets. So it's hard to move those markets, all right? One big player can't come in and just push the market around. This is big titans of industry. Exxon Mobil and these guys are in here banging this out, all right, with hedges and a whole bunch of other things. So this is not for the average dude to be up in this crude oil market because they will rip your face off. All right, this is a weekly chart. Now, not a whole lot to talk about here, but you can see that supports were taken out and then they brought the market right back. Let's take a look at the daily chart. You get a better picture of what I'm talking about. Okay, here on the daily chart, you can see what did the market do? It came down, it bested the first support, and then it bounced right off of the secondary support, which is the long-term support. All it did was just bounce right off of that. There's nothing crazy about this. There's really no manipulation. It's just how this market does. It comes down to support, and then it rallies. Comes down to support, and then it rallies. Testing support, and then it rallies. No conspiracy, no manipulation like in the bond markets or in the stock market. Come down, test support, rally. Test support, rally. Broke support, rally. Support, rally. It's one of the few markets that does this. Here we go again. Comes down here. Breaks it this time, but back here. Support, rally. Support, rally. It's what this market does. Nothing to see here. Came down, tested support, couldn't rally. Bested the support, couldn't rally. Finally, once the support is found, rally. Support, rally. Support and rally. Support and rally. I could go on and on. It's what this market does. But it's gangster because it creeps up on you. That's just the thing. When you think it's going to take out the support, it head fakes you and crushes you. It absolutely obliterates and destroys you when you're not paying attention. Case in point, let me tell you about a real life scenario that I experienced. I told you about the orders I'm still waiting for, since the late 90s. But let's talk about another more earlier one than that. This is around, what, 2010, 2011-ish? I think it was January 2011. I know it was like January. Anyway, I had a keying error. And let me tell you, I don't care who you are, how good you are, how awesome you are in the market with your trading, whatever system you're using, discretionary, systematic like myself, algorithms, whatever. At some point, you're going to make a mistake. When I was a broker, we made plenty of mistakes when we would place orders. Sometimes you would say long when you meant to say go short, or go short when you meant to say go long. Mention the wrong contract month. You meant to say the front month. You end up telling you end up saying sell me Christmas cotton because you're probably thinking about Christmas and it's not ready to trade that contract yet. So you say it and all types of stuff. Anyway, in this situation, it was contract rollover, and they did it in the middle of the day like they normally do. But I wasn't paying attention. I forget what was happening. Anyhow, I went in and I placed the trade. Either I placed this. I know. Okay, I placed this. I placed the trade, and I had to stop it. But then when they rolled over the contract in the middle of the day, I should have known that was coming. Some kind of way I missed it. Anyway, my stop didn't hold because it was in the other contract. Meanwhile, the new front month fell $10, $10. All right, just punched me in the face. I had to go in and think, okay, I need to put stop up in here in the new front month so I can get the heck up out of here. And ended up, I couldn't put it in because the thing was just falling to the luck. It was going to go back up. So it bounced back up. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to put the stop in yet. I'm just watch it. And no matter what, the thing just kept falling, man. It crushed me. It fell $10 on me. $10. And finally, I was like, okay, I can't take any more pain. I had to get out. I had to take the loss. But it was an error on my part. If I was paying attention, I would have entered the buy order on the new front month, not the old expiring contract. Had I done so, guess what? I wouldn't have even been in the trade because the new front month contract would not have triggered the system long. But because I wasn't paying attention, I got smoked. All right? And since then, I have learned, and that's never happened again. Never caught me on the contract, never caught me slipping on that again. So yes, crude oil, when I tell you something, it's because I've lived it. Not because I heard about it or read about it, it's because I lived it. Crude oil will punish you if you're not paying attention. But to the astute, I've been telling you in the last couple of end-of-day videos to watch it. Here it is. We don't know. We're going to watch and see how it plays out. But once it gets around these trend lines, you got to be careful. You got to be watchful. All right? And then here we are reversing today. So what does the price action, just looking at the chart, tell you going forward? Well, let's look. Pull back up the weekly. Right now, it's not telling you pretty much anything. Here you are. You settled here. It just ran right off those lows. It could still fall back down again. Your trend line is right here. So either it's going to come down further and test it. It could even best it, keep falling, or it's going to run back up again. Right now on the weekly, it's not really telling you too much. Not really telling you a whole lot. Just looking at the chart. The daily, though, it's telling you that this thing is bullish. It wants to make a run now back up. It wants to move from a negative pulse wave to a positive pulse wave. Can it do it, or is this going to be just a continued downtrending line until you get down here to the top of the Kumo cloud, and then you get this ramp coming up here? Right now, it's looking like it wants to follow the ramp and shoot up to about 56. Overhead resistance is going to be tough because around that $54, about $54, it's gonna have some problems. It's already having some problems now. But 54 should be a strong resistance for this one. So we'll see what happens. Right now, it's still the complexion of it. It's still in a bull trend long term speaking on the daily, but you've been coming off these highs. You're in a retracement mode, so you got to be careful when you're in retracement mode because the price actually tends to do this: comes down like we've come down, rallies like I've showed you, but then you build your next leg down. That's what could be happening here. We'll probably get up to about the 54 and fail, or not even make it that high, and then come down, and then we build the next leg down. So from here, we're looking at a possible break below the 50. May not stay there that long, but it could still do it before it comes back up again. So crude oil is just a game. Crude oil is really a day trader's market, and that's all I got to say about it. All right, let's move on. Looking at that emini nasdaq 100, it's hanging up here. It's not trying to close below that momentum. Excuse me. So right now, that's where she's at. She wants to keep it running. She wants to run. And it got to stay above 5,000. A close below 5,000 signifies a top. And we don't want that super double top cycle. They don't want that. So where's our supports? 5,000 is major support. Next stop's 49.58 and a half. Actually make it 49.58 and 3/4. Then we got 48.96 even. So that's where we are with our supports in the emini nasdaq 100. Don't want to see any of them really taken out. Not just yet anyway, but especially this long-term one. So around the 4,900 mark is where your major long-term support is. So you got 148 points built into this of cushion per se. So it should be enough to continue to move forward. All right, looking here at Bitcoin, I mean the US dollar index, I mean Bitcoin, I mean, let's just call it the US dollar Bitcoin. How about that? Or the US bit dollar coin. Here we go. We move lower again today in the dollar. And what did we do? We moved a lot lower in the Bitcoin too. $781.49, down 13.63%. Down a whopping $123.30. So Bitcoin is down. The US dollar is down. Bitcoin is down. The US dollar is down. Here's the US dollar weekly chart. Falling, hitting new supports. Here's Bitcoin. Falling, hitting new supports. As goes the US dollar, goes Bitcoin. You can keep your excuses. I don't want to hear it. Whenever anything negative in the price affects Bitcoin and happens, there's always an excuse. Oh, it's China. Oh, it's this, it's that. Well, I thought this was a separate entity in and of itself that is free from manipulation of any kind. They're supposed to be free from the normal dynamics that affect normal markets that are covered under the central banking schematic. Bitcoin is supposed to be free of the central banking schematic, but yet it moves, acts, feels, and looks like a central banking schematic. I have been warning everyone on this YouTube channel for years now that the market dynamics have changed. The global markets are not the same. This is not your granddaddy's stock market. Even the forex markets have changed. The forex market is a $1 trillion a day market. No one entity can move the forex. no matter what you do. However, that is no longer the case. Look at what happened during Brexit. Look what the markets did. Look what happened to the pound, how it got pounded so easily. All right, look at the wild fluctuations we've been having in the last couple of years within the cross pairs in forex. Look what happened in the Kiwi and the other, I forget the actual pair it was, where it moved like 50,000 pips. It was just craziness a few years ago. Look at what happened with the pound, okay? Anything under the central banking control is available for their manipulation and theirs only. No one guy sitting in his boxers in his mama's basement can move these markets. It's the central banks that move these markets like that. Anything catastrophic, you better believe it's the central bank. Now, the stock market's a little bit different because there's a lot of robots and algorithms at work that pile in on each other. So, in effect, there can be a cascading effect with the stocks. But with commodity futures and forex, totally different animals. Not supposed to happen, but they happen. And they're happening. Anything in the foreign exchange market is a problem when you see big shifts like that. This dollar and what's happening with Bitcoin is not supposed to happen. All right, textbooks say it's not supposed to happen, but it's happening because the dollar is Bitcoin. Bitcoin, everything that Bitcoin stands for, its structure, its infrastructure, all of that is the face of the new money, the new monetary system, the new dollar. That's why they move together. You don't have to like what I'm saying. You don't even have to agree with what I'm saying, but you cannot ignore the price action. You cannot disagree with what you're seeing. You're just choosing not to look at it. You don't want to believe what your eyes are showing you. That tick for tick, bar for bar, you see dollar, you've seen Bitcoin. You see Bitcoin, you've seen the dollar. They're moving in tandem, lockstep, tick for tick. Dollar down, Bitcoin down. Dollar up, Bitcoin up. If Bitcoin was a separate entity, then why isn't Bitcoin up today? Do not tell me about China. I don't want to hear it. They're not supposed to be able to move the Bitcoin market. No one is supposed to be able to move Bitcoin because it's supposed to be a whole different idea, right? Well, look what's happening here. I rest my case. Moving on. Precious metals. All right, looking at the gold. Where are we in gold? It's still making that run toward that $1,200 resistance. It's right here. It's major resistance. 1,200 to 1,210 is major resistance. If it can get above it, then 1,235 is another major trend line resistance. And if it can make it above that, the next one is the 1,265 level, major resistance to push outside of the Kumo cloud and get up in these ramps. All right, and then march up toward 1,350. If all things being equal, the central banks stay out of the way, that's where gold wants to go, and it's a natural evolution of things. However, we know that they're involved, and they're not going to let that. They don't want that to happen. So here's where we are. We'll probably falter around the 1210, 1215 level, and then they'll use that as an opportunity to get short and beat the prices back down toward the 1150 mark. That's what I'm seeing happening in gold. Looking at silver. And as you know, I'll take this time to say for those of you who do not know, gold and silver is money and nothing else. All right, silver, same scenario right here, getting around that $17 mark. Probably bump its head, crack the head open, come back down to test $16.50 and down toward the high $15 range. If not, it can get lucky, get lost in the Kumo cloud of death, and then manage to break out of the cloud above $18. Let's see. What is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that it? Let's look at this, the Quad U. Quad U. Quad U is breaking the heck out. Look at that beautiful breakout chart. This is one to definitely watch going forward, ladies and gentlemen. This thing looks like it wants to get get out of where it's been and become a $5 stock. That's what this is looking like. It's looking like a $5 stock waiting to happen. And I'm not going to lie, it looks sexy, but let's take a look. The long-term weekly chart. We got an issue. We got the bottom of this Kumo cloud to contend with around the $2.50 mark. Can it break into the Kumo cloud of death and then finally get above $3? Or is it going to falter here and fall back down? Tough one for sure. Not sure what it's going to do. Looking here at JNUG on the weekly now. JNUG doesn't know what she wants to do. I told her, don't even call me, lose my number until she grows up and matures and is ready for a real mature relationship. Right now, she's a loose woman. She's basically a hoe, okay, right now. And that's sad because she is so sexy. But she just don't want to do right. She's ratchet. I told her, you got to stop being ratchet. You have such potential. Right now, looking at this chart, she has $20 potential. She's trading below 10, but she has $20 to $25 potential. She could be a real dime, man. A supermodel. But right now, you know, she's partying. She's staying out late. You know, she's resisting the curfew that's been imposed on her at $10.55. She's staying out late. She's not coming home. All right, she's not coming home to this trend line right here. All right, she's not doing the things that she needs to do to be a respectable young lady. At $13.44, if she can just get to $13.44, at least that is the long-term trend line resistance on the weekly chart. If she can close above that, then there's hope for her. Possible $5 run to 20. If she can get above this orange long-term trend line resistance, I would be willing to pop the question, get down on one knee. But she's playing games, you know. She's acting like one of them young chicks, you know what I'm saying? She's playing games. She's just not bring home the mama material right now. She has the potential to be, but she's playing around. So I think there's more fish in the sea. Let's go look at some. Nugget is even worse. Nothing going on here, folks. I tell you, I think we're going to have to start going to other dating sites like Uranium. So the next video, I think we're going to look at Uranium. I'm tired of JNUG and her sisters. They're too ratchet for me right now. Remember, postwavetrading.com. Come on over. Bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can, give nothing back.